Hello everyone, Pineapple here with the latest of the Blue Box Show, Doctor Who, Series 15, Episode 3, The Well. Written by Sharma Angel Walfall, and since his monster got pasted on top, Russell T Davies. Now that sounds like a negative, but even if I would have preferred a single writer's vision, RTD is correct in that it makes sense for his idea to be integrated into this story. It fits really well without falling into the trappings of flesh and stone. But we'll talk about that when we get into it. Last time we had Lux. I had my issues, but it was a good episode overall. And it's strange to say, but this episode continues the trend of tonally ripping off the last series. Episode 1 introducing the companion to space, 2 dealing with a god in Earth's past, and 3 being sci-fi on a barren world with Radha Sethu and the companion being shot. And with the next episode being Ruby focused and Dr. Light, this trend seems to be continuing, and I don't know, the clearness of it feels a little cheap. With that out of the way, let's actually get into The Well. 15 and Belinda are still blocked from their destination, Belinda freaking out a little bit and 15 calming her down, promising to get her home.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
And learning more about her parents. It's a nice interaction, ruined by another goofy let's get dressed moment, feeling out of place tonally. And them getting the exact uniform needed, while believable in the TARDIS, still feels a little contrived. We're right into the action as 15 and Belinda jump down to the planet with a platoon.
Platoon of Jadoon near that lagoon.
The contrivances appearing again as there are just enough helmets for them. And while I feel this can be explained away with Mrs. Flood's appearance later on, like she planned his appearance, it could have used a little more explicit confirmation. After some panicking, they land and get their Vindicator reading, and are almost executed, but spared thanks to the flick of the psychic paper. And the platoon leader, Shia Castalian, played by Keelan Dunn, self-explaining that their gaps in knowledge are tests. I really liked Shia in this episode. The performance is really good, selling the tough commando, but matched with her backstory and reluctance but impressive ability to kill, made her really interesting. And matched with the other characters who I liked but had an issue or two with, she comes out on top. The ship won't be down for another 5 hours due to the radiation that kept the planet lifeless for years, and the platoon investigate a mining base, using mercury to mine carbon. They enter to find almost every member of staff either shot or physically crippled, and with the mirrors smashed, and I feel the atmosphere is nailed pretty well throughout, the only tonal issue being Britney played at the start. From the start, Cassio doesn't like the Doctor.
It's not appropriate to call me babes.
Okay, hon.
Wow, Doctor, sexual harassment in the workplace? It's not right, and Cassio doesn't have to take it. Anyway, they discover one survivor, the deaf chef Alice Fenley, played by Rose Ayling Ellis. And while having great acting behind her and some good moments of dialogue, both her and Belinda suffer in the dialogue in moments. Belinda's refusal of having seen something and Alice's desperate pleas to go home, needlessly repetitive and occasionally in the wrong moments. Just some variance in the dialogue would have helped immensely, as it doesn't take you out of the story, but if these characters just explained themselves a little more, it would have worked far better. 15 and Belinda treat her with less suspicion than the troops, using interesting subtitle tech to communicate with her, which is an interesting way to get around every actor needing to learn sign language, and looks nice in practice. Alice claiming that nurses are required to be fluent by law, which is a nice sentiment, as deafness is a medical condition. And as 15 is a much more emotional doctor, it's nice to see him use sign language after 12 deleted it.
Well, no, actually, I can't. It's been deleted. For semaphore. Someone get me a selection of flags.
Alice explains everyone else went mad, forcing her to kill her friend, leaving her alone for weeks, and a dialogue doing well to make her sympathetic. She's reluctant to give more info, and 15, Cassio and Shia split off to see the titular well, which looks pretty good CGI-wise, even if the green screen behind 15 can get a bit animated. On the team we also have Mo Gillivan, played by Bethany Antonia. And while not having as much to do and mostly just being the nice one, she is endearing in her moments with Belinda and in the final cliffhanger. Adding to the series arc, both Belinda and 15 find that these humanoids have no idea what Earth or anything coming from there is. It does go on a fraction of a second too long, but it's nice foreshadowing.
Have you ever met any? Humans, I mean. I never heard of you.
Yeah, well, you haven't heard of much. Bloody hell. With some clever jump scaring, Belinda sees the entity behind Alice. This male trooper to side seeing it too, setting them on edge as Belinda tries to treat Alice's wounds. With 15, we cleverly learn that Cassio is a dick and Shia is a great shot, discovering a fragmented video file of people scared, yelling and running from the well, a thing seemingly coming out of it and scaring them like that. Alice claims everyone seeing the thing behind her is how the madness started, and Manly Trooper here threatens Belinda's life for arguing with him, and sends a troop directly behind Alice, sending the trooper into the air and dying on impact with the ground. The Midnight theme playing bombastically, which I was a little annoyed by. The Midnight theme is another recurring motif, just like the last episode had Matt Smith era music, and the reuse is getting a little old. At least here there is a reason to. But the Midnight track has nice, quieter, creepy moments that should have been used more than the louder part. With some investigation and a great reveal, 15 learns the planet is in fact Midnight, which I figured out as soon as Shia mentioned extonic stars, this episode taking place after the star's death thousands of years ago, making the whole diamond mining fit pretty well. As RTD has done a few times, there is also a flashback to Midnight, and while not bad, definitely feels unnecessary, as it doesn't really add anything but putting David's face on the screen. Doctor Who fans from RTD's last era would already get the gist, and new fans from the Disney era could understand that this is an unknowable thing from the Doctor's past he's scared of. So apart from maybe enticing Disney watchers to go see the 10 out of 10 that is Midnight, it doesn't really need to be here, but is done with far more taste than Empire of Death. So, now revealed to be a sequel to Midnight, let's talk about The Thing with No Name, or the Midnight Entity. It follows similar rules as in Midnight, and as you can't just do the same thing again, this feels like a really good progression of it. In Midnight it targeted people, learning about them and possessing them. And while not to that degree, it does manipulate psychologically, just doesn't go into full possession. And turned around, it was shown to have pretty powerful kinetic abilities there, but in this episode it's its go-to attack, so there's a nice reversal there. While keeping the whole beat it with suicide plot, it also gives the creature a weakness. It can't see itself, and as a preventative measure, it will kill anyone who looks at the back of the person it's clinging to. Now this still fits with Midnight, as it was possessing someone, not sitting behind them, and there weren't any mirrors to disprove this theory there, but no one dying kinetically in Midnight, and I'm sure people stood behind Sky in that. It seems that while seeing itself does it harm, the killing of anyone who stands behind it and sees it is voluntary. So all in all, while a little muddled, this is a pretty solid continuation of the creature, and while technically this episode gives the creature a physical appearance, it isn't set in stone, and the flashes we get are really effective, this possibly just being a representation of the creature and not its true form, which would have been going too far. Like seeing it crawl out of the well or something would just ruin it. 15 sells the seriousness well, and Cassio, the dick that he is, takes mutinous charge. Not killing Alice straight up, as that's a way the creature transfers. So fed up with not getting his way, Cassio causes a mutiny, which causes the creature to lob a good chunk of the squad at him, convincing me more this is for its own pleasure more than involuntary defense. And we get this banging line,
"If it was a clock face, you die at midnight."
and this stone cold moment from Shia.
Turn 180.
15 decides to full-on confront the creature as they all discuss abandoning Alice, and he cries again, and man, would this despair and then hopeful moment with a sort of eldritch twist would have been so much more effective, just like when David teared up in Midnight, if 15 hadn't cried every episode this season. Sure, the Doctor should cry occasionally, the tears selling the true despair of the moment, but using it all the time like spamming a button, as I've said before, cheapens the good moments majorly. The Doctor realizes how to beat the creature while it's fucking with him, even knowing his name, which I assume it got from mind-fucking him in Midnight. And in this episode specifically, like the end of Robot Revolution, I like the difference in Ncuti's laughs. His triumphant laugh as he figures the creature's weakness out here is far different from the dark chuckles he gives when remembering how the entity toyed with him before. So using Running Mercury as his theme plays, Shia shoots the pipe out, creating a really cool looking fountain of mercury, reflecting the creature back on itself, and they get the hell out of there. Us only getting the briefest glimpse of it, which I love. Two troopers take Ellis out, with her wearing what is definitely a variant of the orange spacesuit. And I didn't notice initially, but there are actually two creatures, one escaping as the airlock senses 4 beings, not the 3 humanoids. A really clever setup to the pre-credits twist. The second creature attacks, attaching itself to Belinda and using the whole paranoia angle to good effect again. And after the whole oh no Belinda bit, Shia takes the creature by hitting Belinda fatally, but Mo having the chance to save her just in time, so we get a really nice moment with some monologue and flashbacks from Shia, as the Doctor watches her throw herself and the creature back down the well. It's great, and I think if the episode was longer, I would have liked to see not just more of the creature and interpersonal challenges, but Shia's backstory too. Belinda is cured and her and the Doctor get back in the TARDIS, worried about the whole disappearing Earth thing. And on the ship, Mo reports back to Mrs. Flood, and yeah, the whole who is this woman thing that's been done on series 4 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 14, and now here is getting a little old. But I like that Mrs. Flood is taking more of a Missy approach, not just a random woman, but someone following the Doctor and clearly has an evil plan. The story ends proper as another member of the team seems to think she sees something behind Mo almost pissing herself. And while the score is a little too overbearing, I like this little ending scene, but it feels a little too much like the end of Sleep No More for my tastes. So that was The Well. And with great monsters, characters, action and mystery, I loved it, especially the feeling of watching it with the lights out at 11 at night. And most of my issues, the score, repetitive dialogue, etc., feel a lot more nitpicky when compared to the great stuff. So while I was going to give the episode an 8.5, that's what I gave Boom, and I think this episode should sit just above Boom. I'll have to give Boom another watch to see if it should be an 8 instead, but I have only the littlest issue in calling this a 9. And it seems I'm not alone according to timescales. Thank you everybody for watching my review of The Well. Please like the video if you liked it, comment down below if you wish, and consider subscribing to the channel, and if you do, ring the notification bell so that you're told every single time that I make an upload. Once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next review. Bye!
Toast. A little piece of toast. Because there's so much to choose from. There's brown bread, white bread, all sorts of wholemeal bread. It comes in funny packages with writing on the side.